Alrighty. How have you been since our last session?
Um, I've been alright. School's been a little hectic. Like midterms just passed and end of this semester is winding down, so a lot of stuff's coming up. I got a lot of papers due and projects and stuff, so I'm a little stressed out about that.
Have you been spending time with anyone or outside your room?
No, I don't really have time to because I have all that stuff I need to do. So, you know what I mean? Like, why would I hang out with friends if I have all that stuff to do?
Is that something that you would like to do, that you would like to focus on?
Hang with friends?
Yes. Because you came in, you had issues of anxiety, and you were a little isolated, and people were worried about that. Is that something you would like to focus on while we're here?
Yeah, because, I don't know, it's just like when I have stuff to do, I don't feel like hanging with friends is like the best idea.
Okay, so I'm going to put that on our agenda list for today, for topics to cover today.
Okay.
Is there anything else that you think you would like to talk about that's been an issue or concern?
I mean, I guess I've been getting into it with my family a lot. Had some arguments with some of my friends.
So we have spending time with friends and arguing with friends and family.
Yeah.
Okay, that should be enough for us to talk about today because we only have a limited amount of time.
Okay.
So that would be good to start. So to start, we had homework last time, your automatic thought record. How did that go?
I mean, I did it. It's a little depressing, I guess.
Okay, let's review it. So, see, you had the situation.
Yeah, those are the basic things I wrote about. Like,
so the situation was you were overwhelmed with school, and so then your thought was well, basically, because my friends had asked me to go out, and I told them I couldn't because I had so much stuff to do, so I was feeling kind of overwhelmed. Okay. So I guess that was my feeling overwhelmed, and then thought was like I can't hang out with other people if I have all this other stuff on my plate. So my schoolwork would be as good. Okay, so we have, I don't know if we did this last time, but when we did the automatic thought record, we're going to scale your thoughts and your feelings from 1 to 100.
Okay.
So you had your feeling was, is that maybe you were feeling inadequate or
Overwhelmed. Yeah.
Overwhelmed. So out of 100, between 1 and 100, how anxious or how bad did you think you felt? From the best you've ever felt being 1 to 100 being the worst you've ever felt.
It's like 67.
So then how did your thought rate, how did that from the best to the best being 100, the worst being 1?
Well, I guess like about the same.
Out of 67?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is definitely something we can work on today, and we're going to try to get this from a 67 down lower, and hopefully you won't have these thoughts and feelings at all. That's part of what cognitive behavioral therapy is. We focus on your thoughts and how that affects your mood and your behaviors. And so what we can do is alter that. We can't always alter everyone else, but we can alter ourselves, change ourselves, how we feel, how we react to things. So that's something that we're going to be focusing on. Okay, so let's start with focusing on time with friends.
Okay.
So what exactly do you have going on that you can't fit friends into your schedule?
Well, like I was saying, like I have a bunch of tests coming up, like so many papers, because at the end of the semester, it's like all your teachers and stuff are giving you all this stuff last minute. And then I'm in the Black Action Society, I'm in like an honor society, and then I also do this like community service with like ASL and stuff, the little African society. So like we have weekly meetings on top of that, and then I'm on the executive board, so that means more work for me.
For each organization or for one?
For all of them.
So you're on the board for all of them?
Yeah. There's just a lot of stuff to have to do with that as well. So it's like, I don't know, if I spend time with my friends, like how will I be able to be the best at all of the stuff, like my work and organizations I'm in.
Okay, so what does being the best mean to you? Why do you need to be the best at all of these things?
I mean, because if I'm not the best, then what's the point of doing it? Like how I perform in things is how, I feel good about myself.
So then what would happen if maybe you were second best in something? How would that?
I can't be second best.
So do any of these things, do you have fun when you do these?
I'm interested in them, and I think they look really good on a resume, so I can get a good job and stuff. So, ASO is nice because it's an organization for people that are like African as well, so then I can be around people that have similar background, Black Action Society is African American, so that's cool too. And I like being in honor society because I worked really hard on my grades, so that's a way to show that I did that.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is you work really hard. You're in all of these organizations that put you around a lot of people, yet you don't really have time to interact.
Yeah, outside of that capacity, yeah.
And none of these things really seem to bring you a lot of joy. You seem to be doing them more out of, it sounds like, obligation. Am I correct in thinking that? So let me pose this to you for a second. If you had not had to do any of this, if you didn't have to think about a future job or what would look good on your resume, what would you be doing?
I don't know. It's hard to think about. Like my family always had me thinking about that all the time, like about being the best and what I needed to do to be the best and things I needed to do to make sure I could be the best later in life. So I never really thought about like leisure time and just fun for fun's sake. I think that's probably why I get in a lot of arguments with my friends because like they're always trying to do stuff for just fun, but I don't see the point of leisure. Like I didn't get a lot of leisure time just growing up. There was always me doing something like being involved in some organization or sports because you could get a scholarship in that, but it wasn't just for like leisure. I don't really understand leisure.
Okay, so in that case, you really don't have any hobbies that...
Like, I don't know. And I really, not really.
Okay, so what does... I'm hearing that this is a cycle in your family. This is something that maybe your family has taught you. Is this a habit with your family that...
Yeah, I don't know. I always felt that also because I was the only girl, there was a lot of added pressure on me to be the best. I'm also the oldest, so I'm the model for everyone else. So I have to be up to the standard. So like my younger siblings know they have to be up to that standard too. So, and I just feel like my parents, I guess, since they came from Africa and I was born here, like they brought me here so I'd have better opportunities, and they don't expect me to not take advantage of everything that will make me to, be the best person. I don't know.
Okay, what I'm hearing is, correct me if I'm wrong, what I'm hearing is you really have a sense to please your family.
I mean, that's how they stay happy with me. Like if I'm doing what they want me to do or things they see me see as best, then I'm on their good side. So.
And how does that make you feel?
I mean, when I'm on their good side?
When you're on their good side, how does that make you feel?
It's better than being on their bad side, so I guess it makes me feel good. I've learned to, do this juggling act that they seem to like to to just remain on their good side because they can be very mean if I'm not on their good side.
Okay, and what would happen if you weren't, like, just think about this, if you were to decide to do something that would bring you a little joy without, giving up everything, do something to bring you joy, what would happen in that case?
Well, I mean, I guess if I did something to give me joy, my parents would probably feel like it was taking away from the things that I have to do. So if I'm like spreading, because I'm already spreading myself very thin, but they feel like that these are things I should be doing,
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to do something just in leisure, that's taking away from the stuff I have to do. So why do it? I guess they can see I'm overwhelmed, but they feel that I need to do all these things. So why would I do something else, even though it might be fun for me, that would take away from that?
Okay, we're getting a little bit off topic, but I do want to touch a little bit more on this. This is sounding like this was something that was ingrained in you when you were younger, but it's not necessarily making you happy. So, in a perfect world, what would be making you happy? What would make you happy? Callie, what would Callie want in the perfect situation?
I mean, I would like to be like my friends and be able to, like spend time with them like on weekends, or like have like dinners that are longer than like 30 minutes because I need to get back to studying. Just not being by myself all the time because I feel like I'm always by myself. But I guess when I'm at organization stuff, but it's not like social stuff. Like I'm very isolated in terms of socially.
You're a part of a lot of social organizations, and so you're in touch with a lot of people, yet do you have a relationship with the people that you're on board with?
Just in terms of the organization, not like outside of that. Like a lot of the people in the organizations are like close friends and they want to do stuff outside of that. And I can see how that could like enrich us working together because we have that friendship as well, but we don't really get to do that because I'm always so busy. I just like do what I need to do for the organization, not building the relationships with the people.
Okay, so I really want to focus on this meeting your goal, that maybe you would like to have a little more free time, a little leisure time without sacrificing, your grades and your goals in life. So we're going to focus on that. If we do not get to the next agenda item of having the argument with your family and friends, would that be okay to move that to next week?
Yeah, that'd be fine. So I feel like what we're talking about now is basically the root of what my arguments with my friends and family is about.
Okay, so what we're going to write down is I want to sort of create a schedule of what a typical day is like for you, so that maybe we can, fit some time in there. So, what time do you normally wake up in the morning?
I wake up at 6 because I work. I have a part-time job. I work about like 24 hours a week. So I wake up at 6 because I have to be at work at 8.
Okay, so between 6 and 8 or 6 and 7:30 maybe you're getting dressed and ready for work.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 8 o'clock you're working, and is this an 8-hour shift?
Yeah, I do 3 8-hour shifts a week. So then
so about 4 p.m.
Yeah.
And then what?
Then I'll have class at 6. Like 6 to 8:50. And then at 9, this would be Monday, so I would have BAS meeting, e-board meeting.
And how long are these meetings usually?
It depends, like what's going on, if you have events or whatever. So, they could go to like 9 to 10 on a good day, sometimes 10:30, 11.
So let's say about 10:30, break
Yeah.
even. And then, is that the end of your day?
Well,
Excuse me.
well, then I need to go to the library and study. So I usually I usually grab something to eat. So if we're going with 10:30, so like 11 to the time the library closed, so 2.
You're in the library from 11 to 2 a.m.? So you don't get much, so you get like about 4 hours of sleep then. You can see how that could be a concern. And it's just one day of the week. So this is Monday.
Yeah, I work Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and of course the days I work are the days we have meetings for my orgs, like of course. So that's basically what my day is like: Monday, Wednesday, Thursday.
So Monday, Wednesday, Thursday are the same.
Yeah.
So how about your Tuesday?
Tuesday I have class at 11 to 11:50. So just an hour.
And what time do you normally wake up in the morning?
I try to get a little sleep on the days I don't have work, so I wake up at like 10 because I live on campus, so it's not far from my class. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I go to the library until like 3:30, so then I have class again at 4.
Okay. At 4 p.m. you have class.
Yeah, till 6.
Okay, and then what after 6 o'clock?
Then I go back to the library until about 11. And then I go to sleep.
Okay, Friday.
Friday, I have an early class on Friday, so I go at 8 a.m. And it's till like 10:50. And then I usually go to the library for a little while, and then
How long was that?
actually, since I don't have much class to do, I usually end up in the library. It closes at 10 on Fridays, so like I'll leave to eat and then come back.
So after your 10:50 class, you go to the library for the rest of the day?
Yeah. Like get lunch and then go and then
And
study and then get dinner and then go back and then go home.
Just lunch by yourself and
Yeah.
dinner alone?
Yeah, basically because like it's kind of like impromptu. Like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm gonna go grab something. So yeah.
Okay, and how about your weekend?
Yeah, it's usually just in the library. Sometimes I do pick up an extra shift sometimes. But it depends.
And this is the entire day from your 6 a.m. wake up to the evening? Okay, so I'm going to show you what we have written.
Okay.
And what we have, Monday, I see you are pretty booked. However, you do have, but like I said, the 2-hour gap between, between your 4 p.m. class, 4 p.m. when you get off work, and then 6 p.m. when you go to class. And I can see how maybe you could spend time napping or something during that time.
Yeah.
However, on, Tuesdays, Fridays, and your weekend, you have a large gap of time that you spend studying in the library. And in fact, on the weekends, on both days, you're in the library pretty much for 12 18 hours of the day. Um, how do you feel about looking at this and seeing how exactly your time is being spent?
I mean, like I have a lot of homeworks and stuff like that, so it's me like trying to keep on top of my reading and the actual work I have to do and then test. So I don't know. I'm probably in the library so much because I'm very concerned with making sure like I understand stuff because I want to make sure I like do it exactly right. So that's probably just me, I guess, maybe not being efficient with my time or just being so concerned about everything being right that it takes me longer to do tasks like work and studying and all that.
Okay. So how about we try something a little different? Would you be willing to do that? Now, since you have so much time, especially on the weekends, and between your like Tuesdays and it looks like Fridays, you have a large gap of time. Since you're interested in meeting with new people, how about you spend some of that time maybe meeting with someone, and we can go gradually if that is a concern for you, to maybe have dinner or even a phone conversation, go for a quick walk to take care of yourself. Isn't it that interest you?
Yeah.
I'm going to make this on your homework assignment. Would you like to write it down or should I?
I can write it.
Okay. So before our next session, I would like you to pick 1 hour out of these days. Either your weekend, you have a large gap of time on the weekend, so maybe you can spend time with a friend on Saturday and then study on Sunday.
I probably feel more comfortable doing the weekend.
Feel more comfortable doing? Okay, so on the weekend, spend at least an hour with one of your friends or one of your board members doing something you like. And I also want you in your journal to list some things that you may like to try. You don't have to do that this weekend, but we're going to talk about that on our next session and to see maybe how we can implement that and still, maintain your academic achievements.
Okay. I think I can do that.
How do you feel about that?
I think I can do that.
Okay, the board? Okay, our next agenda item is arguing with your friends and family. So why don't you tell me a little bit more about that?
Basically, the root of it is like my friends get into it with me because I'm not spending time with them, and I guess when I explain my schedule, I guess they see the gap, what they feel is gaps sometimes in my schedule, but I just feel like they're not being understanding of like me needing to be very on top of what I need to do. And I mean, they call me perfectionist all the time. I mean, I guess I am. I just feel like everything has a way to be done and it needs to be done like that way. My grades mean a lot to me, and I don't want to not, because I've been giving this much time to my work, like all since I've been in college and getting good grades, so I don't want to change it too much and like fall off and slack off. But like I try to vent to my family about what my friends say, and they're just like very strict and like no, like they should be more understanding of things you need to do if they're going to be your friends. So it's being pulled in two different ways, I guess.
Okay, so let's say you continued to spend over 18 hours or so in a library. Let's say we'll do the benefits of that, of studying all that time. What are the benefits of that, would you say?
Well, I know it works in terms of me getting good grades and doing well with my schoolwork. And I know it's a good place because I'm able to focus there and stuff like that. So So I guess just in terms holistically, academically, it's just it's been working for me.
Okay, and what are the disadvantages?
I guess my friends don't like that I don't spend time with them, and because I spend so much time in the library, I'm usually by myself most of the time. I mean, sometimes my friends will like try to study with me, but they're not really trying to study, so they're just distracting me, so I don't like studying with them.
And so the result of that is you don't really feel isolated.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try with our maybe having more fun or spending time with friends. Let's say that spending time with friends. So the disadvantages of that, of what good could come with spending time with your friends?
I guess I would be happier. Be able to make like real friendships with people. So I like notice like when I do like sometimes spend time with my friends, I'll notice they have like certain inside jokes or stories that I don't know anything about, and I guess even feel isolated with them. I guess.
And so let's put that under disadvantages, that you would feel isolated.
Yeah, even within the group, because I don't really know what's going on, and everyone seems to be closer with each other than with me.
And so how does that make you feel?
It just makes me feel like, what's the point of even hanging out with them?
Okay, well that can be your thought, is what's the point, but how does that make you feel, that isolation, that maybe you're left feeling that you're left out? How does that make you feel? What feeling does that evoke from you?
I guess unhappiness.
Okay, so what I'm saying is this is all really tying together, that it's really not just a time management issue, it's also a concern of whether or not, of your feelings of giving up time for studying and making even time for yourself. Is there anything that you do that, not even that you enjoy, that maybe you, just to take care of yourself, like painting your nails, or going shopping once in a while, getting a new t-shirt?
Just sleep. Yeah.
And it looks like, look on your schedules, like you don't really get too much of that either.
Yeah, I try to on the days I don't have work. The weekend, depending on if I take up another shift or not. Sometimes I try to sleep in a little bit on the weekends. Try to make up for sleep I missed in the week, but since I don't get much sleep, when I do get to sleep, I really enjoy.
Okay, so we covered, you argue with your friends. So what about your family? What arguments or disagreements are you having with them?
Basically about my friends, or when I'm saying that I feel overwhelmed, they always tell me some like African story about how much harder things are in Africa than here, and why am I complaining and all this type of stuff. So I guess I try to vent with my family, but it just ends up blowing up in my face. I wouldn't say I argue with my family, because that it wouldn't be a good idea, but they definitely don't like, we don't see eye to eye.
So it's really about talking to your family and explaining to them.
Yeah, how I'm feeling. They just really don't hear me.
So what do you say to them about how you're feeling? How do you?
Because we talk pretty often, like a couple times a week, and I'll just tell them like how my day went, and how I'm like very tired or feeling overwhelmed, and how much stuff I do. And I just feel like they don't hear me. They don't listen to what I'm feeling. They're like, well, you have to do that. Or if I say something about my friends, they're like, well, they're not your friends if they're not understanding that this is what you need to do well. So it's like they just don't hear me or listen to what I'm feeling or take it to have any value, I feel.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that you do have a close relationship with your family. They clearly love you and care about your well-being. What if you were to tell them or not even tell them that you would just take maybe an hour to be with your friends and do something non-academic that maybe you couldn't put on your resume or that wouldn't necessarily be on your resume. What happened?
They would probably just say something like snide comment like, well, I hope that your schoolwork doesn't suffer because of that, or bring up how I'm feeling overwhelmed and all the stuff I have to do, and I'm like, well, that's interesting that you would spend time not studying to be with friends if you're feeling so overwhelmed. So I almost feel like I wouldn't want to tell them.
You wouldn't want to tell them. So you feel like they would more just be unhappy about it?
Like reprimand me for it. Like, why we just I don't know. I just feel like it would do no good.
And how would that make you feel?
I mean, I've tried. Like, the rare occasions I do hang out with my friends and I tell them about it, they're like, well, did you get your schoolwork that you need to be done? Like, they kind of like undermined my decision for spending time with my friends, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. So what does the opinion of your family mean to you?
I guess it means more than I give credit. It means a lot. When they are disapproving of something I do, like, I guess I really have a internal battle with it. So even though it may make me happy, I know they're not happy with it, and I don't know.
So have you really sat down and had a complete heart-to-heart and told them that you were unhappy? Not that you were just overwhelmed, but maybe that you were genuinely unhappy.
No.
And if you were to do that, how do you think that would go?
I'm not even sure, because I don't even know how to bring it up, or how to say it to them, or how to word it to them.
And is that something that could be a possibility, you think?
If I had an idea of how to tell them about it.
I do. What I'm hearing is that your family does really care about you. There's not that there's some uncaring family. They emigrated from Africa to have a better life for the children, including you, and they want the best for you, and obviously that includes your happiness. But I generally think you do care what they have to say, but if they don't realize that you're unhappy, they can't be fixed. If we don't acknowledge our issues, then there's really nothing we can do to change them.
Can you help me with what to say?
Yeah, we can go over some of that, and what we can do is this little role play about talking to your family and how that would go. And it doesn't have to be right away. We can have a few sessions, going over what to say to your family and how, to respond if you don't get the best reaction, how to manage those feelings. We do have a few minutes. We can do a quick role play, but I'm also going to put this on the agenda for next week because this is something that we're going to talk about for next time. So, actually, you know what? Maybe we're going to put the whole thing on the agenda for next week. Is that okay?
Yeah.
But for this week, we can, for the little time we have left, we can go over some topics that you want to address with them. And then maybe next week we'll put it into more of a role play action. So right now we're just going to outline what we're going to discuss, and then maybe what can happen from that.
Okay.
So what would you like to tell your family?
That I'm unhappy about how my current situation is.
Actually, I want you to write this down so that you can use this. This is also for your homework. For optional homework, if not meant for homework, to journal about how you would tell your family and then how that makes you feel and what you think could happen. Just to get that going. I don't want it to be a shock or a surprise or something that's just thrust upon you. Okay, so we're going to do that you tell your parents, you want to tell them that you're unhappy. I get the more detail and the more explanation we have for things, the more people tend to understand and be more willing to listen and accept that. So let's go. Why are you unhappy?
Because I'm isolated all the time, and I don't really feel like I have any worthwhile friendships. Like how you build friendships is by spending time with people and getting to know them, and I don't really get to do that.
Okay, so how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel very lonely.
Okay, that's something that we should definitely let them know, because I'm sure your parents do not want you to feel lonely. So you tell them that you're unhappy, that you don't have any real connections with people. You would tell them that you're feeling lonely. So you would tell them that you're feeling lonely and that you're getting unhappy, that you have no real friendships and no good connections with people because you don't really have time to build those. So how do you think they would respond to that?
I've never told them I've been unhappy. And I know that they talk a lot about wanting me, to be happy. Like, I feel like even though they want me to have a lot on my plate, it's ultimately because they want me to be happy and not to be in a bad situation. And they brought me here to have better opportunities and to be better than they were and all that type of stuff. So I feel like they would feel bad that I was unhappy or feeling lonely, especially since they don't even live that far away. The fact that I was still feeling lonely or unhappy would make them feel probably pretty bad.
So what I'm hearing is that maybe what's maybe what's happening is they do want you to be happy, but based on their life experiences, they have built their own ideas of what happiness is and what happiness means. So during that conversation, maybe we should also discuss what can make you happy and what would make you happy. So let's start. What would you tell them? What make you happier aside from what they've decided is happiness?
Spending more time with people and not being by myself majority of my time. Because when we wrote my schedule down, I know my schedule like the back of my hand, but I wasn't really realizing how many hours of the day I was alone. So to see that was kind of shocking. So I guess maybe articulating to them how often I'm alone and how I don't like that.
And then maybe you could show them the schedule too, so that they can see visually how many hours out of the day that you're not with other people or not interacting with other people. Because this is yes, you are around people, but you're not interacting with them on an interpersonal level. It's more mandatory academic or professional level. So that's something we can also do. We'll put that on the agenda to cover these things. Now we're running a little short on time. So for now, we have told them that we have discovered that you do want to tell your family and have that conversation that you're not really happy and that what they've decided is happiness isn't really what your happiness is, because you're two different generations. You have two different life experiences. They grew up clearly in poverty and they've come here to make a better life for you, but that life isn't exactly what you want. So that's what we're going to focus on more in the upcoming sessions, because we'll take a few sessions to work out so that we're going to role play it. So until basically you're comfortable enough to sit down with your family and tell them exactly what you want to tell them. And we also, covered that you should spend time with your friends. You're obviously not happy. You're feeling a little isolated. And that could possibly cure some of your anxiety that we've established that you already have. And let's see, your homework, we have that. So for your homework, you're going to spend 1 hour this weekend with one of your friends. You call someone up, invite them to whatever you want to do. Dinner, lunch, a movie, something that you like, at least an hour. It can be more. If that goes over, great. You feel free to spend as much time as you would like, but at least an hour with them. I want you to write in your journal about your family, what you could say to them, and how you think you would react to that. How you think they would react to what you have to say. And, excuse me. also list some more activities or something that you would like to do with your life, because we went over it and you really didn't know what made you happy. So you spend a lot of time making your family happy that you're not really making Callie happy. So we want to find out what makes you happy. Right, so how do you feel about that?
I think it's manageable. It's something I can do.
Okay, nothing that's too hard or too overwhelming?
Yeah. I think I can do it.
Okay, we're running a little on time, but how do you feel about what we discovered or what we discussed today?
I feel good about it. I'm looking forward to working on what I can say to my family so they can understand more of what I'm feeling. So I'm very hopeful.
Hopeful. That's a good emotion to feel. Well, remember, we're still going to be doing our automatic thought record, but these are options. The one only mandatory one I really, really want you to do is to spend time with your family. The rest of them, I want you to think about doing them. If you don't do them, that's fine. We can go over them a little bit next session, but I really do want you to spend time with someone outside of class and doing something fun that you would like to do. Okay?
That sounds good.
And thank you for being with me. We'll see you next week.
Okay,
All
sounds
right.
good.
See ya.